Okay, we are going to get started on episode 2 of Why Are You Still Single? I kind of moved my lamp, so I might be tweaking it while I talk. I have done a lot of research on this episode, I guess, and today we are going to talk about, can I survive relationship infidelity? Can I survive cheating, cheating, cheating? I think it's a question that all generations have always struggled with. So, to start, we're going to go ahead and look at some research that I have pulled up. I used a few case studies I'm excited to share with you. So, let's just go ahead and go to the actual facts backed by research. 20 to 25% of long term relationships have had cheating, infidelity, to the point that they could have ruined the initial relationship. 60 to 75% of couples who survive relationship infidelity, they choose to do that, and that is over half of that 1/5, 1/4 that cheat. Case studies link work, stress, lack of connection, financial dependency, especially for women, for affairs to happen. Research shows that men, when cheating, they're craving excitement, they're craving a new sexual partner. And women, when cheating, they're craving emotional intimacy, emotional desirability. And there is like that small group who cheat because misconduct is a turn on, lying is a turn on, secrets is a turn on, things like that. Okay. Case study 2017, once a cheater, always a cheater. They followed 484 people in their relationships. They followed them in their first relationship and in the second relationship. The research showed that those who cheat are 3 times more likely to engage in cheating behavior in the second relationship, in the relationship after. Those who were cheated on in their first relationship, they are 4 times more likely to suspect their next partner for cheating. So there's kind of like a wound there that just gets reopened. Ages 35 to 39. It's the highest risk of affairs in long term partnerships due to the life stages like career, family, disengagement in the relationship. I even looked at research from Ashley Madison. I don't know if you guys know what that is. My roommate didn't know, but Ashley Madison was a website. It was a whole scandal when I was growing up where married people would get on the website to cheat on their partners with other married people. And yeah, so Ashley Madison users, people used that research to study, and they saw that um, people who cheated had little moral regret about their actions, and really they were more concerned about the consequences for being caught instead, but they did not regret cheating in itself. Two, in men who engage, yeah, but the consequences. Sorry, I'm distracted because my mirror has like smudges on it, and I've never noticed until now. So, okay. Anyways, in a long-term partnership, when someone cheats, the emotional infidelity is more distressing, even if a physical engagement has happened. This is what marriage counselors would work on for a couple who wants to reunify. In a short-term partnership, the physical infidelity is just more distressing than the emotional infidelity. Still, long-term and short-term partnerships have the highest reaction when physical infidelity is breached, but both are hurt a different way. The long-term partnerships are hurt by the breaking of the trust, the emotional consequences, and the short-term partners are upset because someone has chosen someone else over them. Yeah. So the sources that I was using, I used one from like MedMD, but it's the evolutionary perspective. So emotional betrayal is more intense than sexual for women. So if a woman gets cheated on, they're going to take it in a more emotional way. This goes back to like womb therapy and epigenetics. Evolutionary perspective for men are that men are threatened by sexual betrayals. They're threatened by the physicality of it, and that also goes into epigenetics and spreading your seed or whatever. Ashley Madison, that case study showed you are most likely to cheat if you make less than 60K a year. You are unfulfilled. You are seeking excitement. You feel emotionally disconnected. You have an average job. You maybe enjoy misconduct. And that's according to the Ashley Madison case studies. Very interesting to read through. I linked it below. You can love your spouse and cheat because needs are unmet. Two contradictory behaviors can be the same. They can occur at the same time. So that's also from the Ashley Madison case studies. Most of the users reported that they loved their spouses and their life partners, but some of their needs were not being met. And we're going to kind of talk about that. So the reason that most people cheat would be because of like the 80-20% theory. So 80% of your partner is great. Like you love them, they're hot, they're attractive, they're funny, they're smart, they're witty. They have a lot of good things going for them. But then there's always like that missing like 20%. You know, when we grow up, you know, we have our fantasies. We have, this is the person that I like to marry. But then we get out into reality and we realize that person, Mr. Perfect, they're just not out there. Mrs. Perfect, she's not really out there. So that missing 20% is what we are missing subconsciously. So for example, say you are a man and in the very beginning of your relationship, you're having all this hot, spicy sex and it was so spontaneous and lovely and it was just great. But now you're in a 7-year relationship. Things are not as spicy as they used to be. You might go looking to fulfill that sexual need elsewhere. Even if unaware, it could be in your subconscious. Then you're going to meet someone who is going to subconsciously fill that missing 20%, but that 80% isn't there. And I'm using that as an example because men crave excitement. They want a new partner. That is one of the most exciting things that can happen. And that is backed by research. And at the same time, for a woman, let's say you grew up thinking that you're going to be a princess, things are going to be great. Where in reality, your partner is not Mr. Perfect, and 80% is great. He's consistent, he's caring, he's committed. But then there's that missing 20%. Like, why doesn't he ask me how I feel? Why isn't he in touch with my feelings? I feel so misunderstood. I feel not desired anymore. You are going to take that 20%, which is actually not really a hole in your partner. It's a hole in you. And you're going to subconsciously look for someone else who can meet those needs. So preventative marriage counseling would talk about in premarital counseling, like, what are the things that are missing? Like, let's just come to terms with it. Let's communicate to your partner that, like, every so often you're going to need a really heart-to-heart. You're going to need to be connected. But as we all know, life moves forward, life moves on, and those things can get lost, and next thing you know, an affair can happen. To say that affairs are, you know, one of the worst things that happen, you know, people who do it, they're bad people, blah, blah, blah. We really need to take a look in, because is it really the worst thing someone can do? I don't know. Like, I think murder, I think genocide, I think being a bad person. we really need to take a look at why affairs happen and what they mean for us. And yeah, I just think if 20% to 25% of the population have admitted that they have done something that would break their current relationship, and those are just the people who admitted it, I think this is a problem we need to learn how to deal with properly. Okay, but let's continue. I kind of went over some of the research, but I have some things I also want to talk about over here. I want to just be kind of vulnerable. I feel kind of weird, like sitting in my room talking to my computer, but I'm hoping that one day, like 3 years from now, I will have worked out all the kinks. There won't be smudges on my mirror. The lighting will be a little bit better, but I feel like I would be upset if I didn't try. So if you're hating on my setup, I just want to say, like, me too. But I think, like, little by little, things will come together. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. Okay, what I wanted to really talk about. Your relationship can survive infidelity. But let's talk. Let's talk about infidelity. Let's talk about what that is. So let's use the word cheat. What is cheating? Yeah, what is it? I think we all know couples who have like a tight leash on their long-term partners, short-term partners. They're very controlling. And, it makes me a little uncomfortable, but I really don't care if I'm not in the relationship, because what happens in a relationship is those two people's business and not mine, and maybe they're happy. And also I've known couples who have like open relationships. So you can kind of have like one extreme and another extreme. So for my single people out there, I want to ask you to make your own betrayal list. Do not define cheating as it's happening to you. Have a list on hand, especially while you are on your long-term relationship journeys. Now, how do you make a list? Make a list in your short-term partnership era. Like, actually learn. Don't just date people without purpose. Learn what you do, learn what you don't like, learn what you are willing to put up with, learn what you are not willing to put up with. Do not just let things happen to you and figure it out. Figure out how it makes you feel when someone else is holding someone else's hand. Figure out how it makes you feel when someone else is looking across the room like they're in love with someone else. Figure out what it means to you. Touch, eye contact. There's a lot of different types of cheating. There is micro cheating. There is physical cheating. There is emotional cheating. There is also the cheating in which someone has a completely separate life than what they're telling you about. So, to my sweet single friends, please make yourself a list that says, if you do this, I will feel betrayed. Figure it out for yourself. If you don't know, start dating and figuring it out, or at least have some standards of how you would feel if something happened. The worst thing you can do is not know and someone trample all over that and say, well, I didn't know, that would make you feel bad. You should have a list. You should have these expectations. That way you can say, please don't cross my boundaries. These are my boundaries. And you can say, look at them. You can either agree to respect me or you can agree to not respect me. We can either agree to this list or we can compromise. But please, sweet, sweet friends, do not just let things happen and figure it out. Know what you are willing to die on a hill on and know what you are not willing to die on a hill on. So, short-term partnerships. If someone has crossed something off of your betrayal list, you have communicated, hey, I know I'm seeing you casually, but I really don't want you to sleep with anyone else because of STDs, STIs. I really don't want you to text anyone else. Maybe we're not going right off the bat with our betrayal list. But at some point, if you are seeing someone for like a month, 2 months, I think you should bring it up and let them know, like, hey, if you do this, like, this is what I'm going to do. And hey, this is my list. Should we compromise on anything? Things like that. So let's pretend you have already had this conversation with your short-term partner. What you need to figure out is they have betrayed you. Oh no, some level you have been cheated on, you have been betrayed. Anger and jealousy. Anger and jealousy. Those are the two emotions associated with cheating. This could be emotional cheating. Why am I feeling angry and jealous? Why am I feeling angry and jealous that he's texting someone, he's looking another direction, yada, yada, yada. Figure it out. Somehow or another, he has betrayed you. Maybe he has texted his ex, hey, I miss you. Maybe she has texted her ex, hey, I miss you. You need to think through these questions. Remember, in our partnerships, the definition of love in the dictionary is being cared for. Obviously, there are different types of levels to care. But if you care about someone, there is a little bit of love there. So we need to ask, is this person worth caring about? I mean, who really wants to date someone they don't care about? Do you know them? Does this person have integrity? Did they accidentally break this list? Was it kind of like a natural thing that happened? Do I know them? Do they have integrity? Do they have character? Because why would you date someone who didn't have integrity or character even in a short-term relationship? 3. This one cracks me up. Every time I talk about it, I start laughing. Am I dating a fuckboy? Or am I dating a girl who has no intention of ever being with me? These two types of people will never change. They will never change. The girl who never really wants to date you and is toying with you will never change. Her stance on you will be the same 5 years from now. So, as sad as that is, you need to appreciate people for who they are and also know that someone may not be willing to change. The fuckboy, they are going to be the same that they are. They're going to love and appreciate women and want as many women as possible and as many opportunities and experiences. And at the end of the day, they have made that decision. That's who they want to be. That's what they want to pursue. And you just have to appreciate these two people as they are. So if you do want to continue seeing them, are you okay with it? Are you okay with being with someone who is going to cross off things off of your betrayal list? Things to think about as long as you don't have a sex hangover the next day where you regret everything you did and feel insecure. Okay. Those are the questions I would ask in therapy to a client who has been betrayed by a short-term partner. Now we're going to get to our long-term partnerships. So for our long-term partnerships, there's a story I read on Reddit. Basically, this girl's getting married. Her sister comes with her with a letter to tell her that her own marriage has not been as picture perfect as she thought. Turns out that this person has cheated on their husband multiple times. Husband is cheating on her multiple times, but they still reunify. They still keep up this perfect front of having a family and having it together. This girl gives her sister this letter a month before she gets married. And her sister posted on Reddit. And the question will live in my brain forever was, is this really what marriage is? Now, we're not just talking about marriage. We are talking about a long-term partnership. So, my question to you is, what is a long-term partnership? What does that mean to you? I kind of was thinking about this in the car earlier of did you mean it? Like when you got married, when you committed to someone, did you mean it? Did you really mean it in the ups? Did you really mean it in the downs? Now, affairs affect 20 to 25% of couples. That is what research says. That is 1 out of 4 people you know. That is 1 out of 5 people you know who have possibly struggled with something this extreme that's very hurtful, that's very life-changing. So my question for you is, did you mean it when you said you loved them? What did that mean to you? What did that mean to the unfaithful partner? What did that mean to the faithful partner? So think about it. What are your values when it comes to staying together? Are you going to fight to repair? Are you going to say, this was too much, I'm going to leave? I think it's really important to go back to those 3 characteristics of, are they caring? Do they have character? And what's the third one? I don't know. Are they committed? I don't know. I feel like character is really important. Do you know who you are with? So, infidelity, a lot of people on the reels, they're getting it wrong. If he cheats on me, I'm going to run him over with my car. And I think that that's really funny and really humorous because, yeah, girl, you deserve better. It should never happen. Yeah. And there's a lot of guys. My friend tonight was telling me all her guy friends have been cheated on, every single one of them. And it's just a crazy phenomenon of how to heal, how to get over things like that. But no, we're not going to run anyone over with our cars. Infidelity does not have to break up your relationship. Just like we talked about the short-term partnerships. You just need to think, like, if I have a conversation with them, will they hear me? Infidelity in a long-term relationship is more like, we talked about the statistics, the emotional trust is busted. So what sucks is the fire has gone out, something has changed partner A, something has changed partner B. There's no more A-B relationship. There has been a life experience now that has affected partner A. There was a hole in this person's heart. They went out, they sought for the need to be filled. This hurt partner B. Partner B now feels anger, they feel jealousy, they feel the ultimate betrayal, they don't feel loved, they don't feel unworthy, they're taking it all in, they're breaking down. This changes people. Partner A has become partner X. Partner B has become partner Z. XZ relationship. So, infidelity does not have to break your relationship. It's entirely up to you. Do you want to continue on? Does your partner want to continue on? So that is between you and your partner. If you want to restart this relationship, but the dynamic has completely changed. So instead of an A-B relationship, you have a brand new person, and now you need to see if you two can gel and move forward. So if you choose to restart your relationship after infidelity has happened, it is the death of the old relationship because you have 2 brand new people again with 2 brand new different struggles. So if you choose to restart, it's the death of an old relationship and you're starting a brand new relationship. And you can design that however you want to. I have seen this. I think it's weird as you get older as an adult and you get to know people more and you get to know their marriage stories and people open up and people can survive relationship infidelity. But if you were my client, this is how I would kind of use motivational interviewing to kind of see, like, do you and your partner really want to be together? Why did you cheat? So for the unfaithful partner, obviously we would use motivational interviewing, which is a technique of coaching. It's a technique of letting the client take their own route in counseling. I'm not the type of person who's going to give you a solution because I believe you have the solution in you. We just kind of need to dig it out. And that's not going to be me digging it out. It's going to be you digging it out. So my first question would be, tell me why you cheated. Tell me how that made you feel. Tell me your story. Tell me your narrative in an unbiased place that's very supportive. Maybe they can finally understand why they cheated, why they were drawn to this person, what happened. Maybe it was an act of anger. Maybe they wanted to punish their partner because their partner didn't make them feel worthy. So it could be a range of all sorts of things. We would figure out what it was. 2, this would take a lot of coaching for the client to be very honest, very vulnerable. After all the hiding, it's just going to be like a lot. It's going to be a lot for them to come to terms with themselves and how they've changed. 3, if we're working on marriage repairs, we would start by asking, do you sincerely want to be in this relationship? Tell me why. That's also another technique of motivational interviewing. Why is being a father important to you? Why is being a loyal husband important to you? Why is being a mom important to you? Why do you want to be in this family? Like, why did you fall in love in the first place? What's drawing you to repair? And then we'd use that motivation just to kind of build up. So for the unfaithful partner, we would need to unpack about what the cheating was about. We would need honesty, vulnerability. Do you sincerely want to be in the relationship? And then it would take a lot of consistency for that partner to repair the relationship if the faithful partner is also willing to repair it as well. One little tiny remark. If the unfaithful partner is still seeing the affair partner, we cannot do marriage therapy. So that would not work. There's only 2 situations in which we would not be able to provide marriage counseling, and that is if the affair partner is still in the picture. We cannot do couples counseling for 3. And the second reason would be if there was domestic violence, things like that. For the faithful partner, they're going to be going through an emotional roller coaster. Raise a hand if you've ever been cheated on. You know how that is. You know how it feels. You have anger, jealousy, loss of a relationship. Everything is new. So, yeah. You're going to need to work on building your trust. Now, everything that we would do with a faithful partner would take time because they are the ones who have been hurt. They are kind of like a victim in a way. But we would also tap into forgiveness skills. Like, can you forgive this person? Are you willing to forgive this person? That's like the first question. Like, are you willing? Do you want to? Maybe they'll say, I don't want to, but I hope I can. Like, not right now, but one day. That is just key. Like, do you want to forgive them? Do you want to get back together with them? What do you want your future to be? Does it include this person? So we would probably have to define what forgiveness is. What does forgiveness look like to you? Maybe it's not screaming at their partner about it. Maybe it's taking space away. Maybe it's only seeing their partner once a week so they can focus on themselves and remember who they are. At the same time, there is no rush for this person to forgive. There is no pressure for this person to forgive. And there is no unreasonable expectation of perfection either. So move at your own speed if you are the faithful partner and your partner's been unfaithful, because love does grow back, but sometimes it's just a slow build. It would be kind of weird if, you got cheated on and this person says, hey, forgive me, love me, I love you so much, I would blah, 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 blah. Like, there's no need to get, love bombed into forgiving someone, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to learn how to forgive them, whether you want to be with them or not, because not forgiving someone is not healthy, and, who wants to hold on to all that bitterness at the end of the day? It's your choice, obviously, but at the end of the day, I hope you're able to forgive And if that means moving forward with that partner, then that's great. And if it means saying, I forgive you, but I can't forget and I need to move forward with my life, also respectable. Also respectable. It is your choice. It's always the choice. Even the unfaithful partner may realize through this affair, hey, I'm not happy. This is like a big giant flag that my needs are not getting met. And I'm sorry that like I reacted this way and it came out this way. But it can also be a reflection for the unfaithful partner. Like, hey, like this is not working out for me either. So if you do choose to move forward, if you are part of the 60 to 70% who wants to move forward with your long-term relationship, there are also some things you're going to need to do together. You're going to need to go on dates together. You're going to need to be romantic again. You're going to need to restart the whole relationship because, like I said, you two have been changed. Healthy relationships who move forward demonstrate friendship skills. So it goes back to those boy-girl interdependent friendship skills. Like, how are you today? Like, you care because you just care. You're not wanting something else in return. So it's just the basic friendship skills. When the unfaithful partner is ready to talk about the affair and you're ready to hear, also note, this was in a TED Talk, I'll link it below. Do you need to go through 666 messages? Do you need to watch the videos? Do you need to know the play-by-play? The answer is, please, friends, don't do something that's going to keep you up for years and years to come and be even harder to let go of. Don't do that to yourself. Ask the questions that matter. What did she mean to you? What did I not have? What did he do that I didn't do? How did he make you feel? What was the breaking point for you? How does it feel? Like, why me? Why are you choosing me and not this person? Like, really ask the questions that matter. Don't ask the questions that are going to really hurt and harm you in the long run. Unhealthy relationships deal with emotional infidelity. Like my mother. Your father cheated on me before you were born. He betrayed me. He betrayed your brother. He betrayed you. Blah, 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 blah. Please do not weaponize someone else's affair. Please do not punish someone by bringing up their affair. This goes back to the forgiveness skills. Unhealthy relationships who move forward. The faithful partner can really villainize the unfaithful partner, and that's very unhealthy and detrimental. So, we've gone through a lot. So, recovering from relationship infidelity it requires a lot of immense effort, but it's not impossible. So it can be done. So my last little blurb was when you should leave. When should you leave if someone has cheated on you? Please don't be naive. If you are unhappy, if something on your betrayal list just keeps getting crossed over and over and over again, if your community knows, if your friends know, if your mother knows, if your church knows, if the whole town knows that someone is serial cheating on you, they most likely have a conduct disorder. We talked about this briefly. Some people cheat because they love to get away with something. They love to lie. They love to do bad things. It's this little turn on for them, and it's very real. There are people out there who are like that. Please, number one, don't marry them. Please, number two, don't be in a long-term partnership with them. Please, number three, don't be their affair partner. 4, please do not get involved with this type of person. Do not. They are not good for you. They will continue to lie, and they're very good at the love bombing. They're very good at flattering you. They're very good at making you feel good. But guess what? What they're going to do to you is not love. please remember, love is not fluff. Love is action. The definition of love is caring about someone. Do not be with someone who does not care about you. Do not be with someone who is going to constantly cross things off your betrayal list and then talk their way out of it. Don't be naive. Now, I see this most in a lot of domestic violent relationships. I see serial cheating. I see terrible things that happen to these women. I see financial control. I see people taking their kids away as a vindictive punishment. And they all seem to have, like these perpetrators all seem to have a conduct disorder. There's something that they enjoy about taking away from another person. So, please, my friends, have your own money, have your own emergency fund, always be ready to leave. I'm not saying this because I'm a pessimist. I'm saying this because if you kind of believe in this domesticated bullshit that women should be domesticated, no one should be domesticated. It's not cool. It's not funny. Having financial freedom, being in charge of your own finances is like putting food in your mouth. It's just a basic need. It's just a basic right. And there is a population where men who control all the money and the finances and everything is in their name, they are, according to Ashley Madison, more likely to cheat on you because what can you do? And I think we've all known people in these terrible situations where they're in these 30-year marriages and then someone finds out that their dad has a 7-year mistress who he's engaged to, but guess what? Like, you have no money, you have nothing, you can't leave. It's not even about leaving, it's just like, don't you want to always have the choice to decide if you want to be with your partner, if you don't want to be with your partner? I think it just like boils down to that. Always make sure you have a choice if you want to stay and if you don't want to stay. And people who choose to stay, like, okay. But don't let your options get taken away from you. And I know that's kind of like an extreme way to leave the podcast, but thank you for hanging out in my very messy room with my rabbits and listening to me yap for almost 40 minutes. So, all right. I promise this will get better. Okay, bye.